It's a beautiful day for baseball, and live from Marlins Park in Miami, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Miami Marlins in the rubber game of this three-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Oral Hershiser. Well, we've had about 14 hours of hindsight now, and the most controversial managerial move, certainly in recent Dodger years and certainly this season. Dave Roberts taking Rich Hill out of the perfect game after 7 innings last night. Let's listen to what the two guys said immediately after the game.
You have to move on, and that's the biggest thing. So for me, you know, to put our team in a great position to win, that was the most important.
You know, there's a lot of fans in Los Angeles that are really upset with me, I'm sure. But the city of Los Angeles, the Dodgers, you know, I think, in my opinion, that was the best thing for us to win a championship.
So here are some numbers. There have only been 23 perfect games ever thrown in regular season Major League Baseball history. 7 innings, 88 pitches for Rich Hill, who of course has been battling that blister. With about 14 hours of hindsight, what are you thinking now?
Well, I'll tell you, last night I had a chance to talk to Dave Roberts, and he asked me, Nomar, what would you have done? And I said, I would have left him in. But it doesn't mean, Dave, that I disagreed with your decision, because it's about understanding. I think we got the emotion, and in the moment, absolutely, you want to see him go get the perfect game. And like I said, I still would have left him in, but at the same time, we all have to take a step back and understand why he did it. And when you get the understanding, you know the big picture, it's about winning the World Series.
And what do you think?
Well, I think it's an exercise in delayed gratification. This is for the team. Dave Roberts knew he was going to be in the spotlight. He put himself right in the middle of the spotlight, but he's got his team still in the spotlight, 4 games ahead of the Giants.
And so the Dodgers could ill afford to lose Rich Hill going into the postseason. How great he has been. 19 shutout innings to this point, holding opposing hitters to an .095 average. We're going to take a break. Andre Ethier is back in left, but last night's left fielder was a defensive star of the game. We'll be right back. all introspectively remember 15 years ago today, and it was the national pastime, Major League Baseball, 6 days after, on September the 17th, 2001, that led the United States of America on its path to recovery. So we'll not forget as the Dodgers and the Marlins get ready for the rubber game of this 3-game series. And of course, Major League Baseball will be remembering 9/11 throughout the day today, as the entire country will. But the national pastime was the first step on our road to recovery. Now to the lineups. Dave Roberts has Chase Utley leading off this afternoon, and Josh Reddick, who's been red hot, batting second in right field. Corey Seager at short, Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Yasmani Grandal, Jock Peterson, and there's Andre Ethier batting seventh in his first appearance with the Dodgers this season. Howie Kendrick and Kenta Maeda pitching and batting ninth, and Jose Arena, 25-year-old right-hander, his 25th appearance and his 9th start.
Well, he's going to come at you with a live fastball. He averages 95 miles an hour and get that fastball up to 97. He also has a good changeup, which is probably his best secondary pitch, and a slider to go with it. But the key for him is to keep the ball down. When he's down in the zone, he has really good life down in the zone and some really good movement, which keeps him in these ball games. For Dodger hitters, try to get him up in the zone so that ball can flatten out.
That last outing against Philadelphia was a good one when it came to keeping the ball down, Nomar. He only had one fly ball of 17 outs, 5 strikeouts, 1 fly ball. So he's getting the hang of getting the ball down and getting that grounder.
And the Dodgers have a left-handed laden lineup today. You've got Grandal, the switch hitter, batting 5th. Only Howie Kendrick batting 8th, a right-handed hitter. Now to the closed captioning, brought to you by Chumash Casino Resort. So it'll be Utley and Reddick and Seager, and after the game today, the Dodgers head up to New York. The red-hot Yankees, a 3-game series, and after the Yankees, on to Arizona for 4 next weekend. Boy, Dave Roberts has had a lot on his plate the last 12, 14, 16 hours. But he stands by his decision, and you think there's any sort of residue to this club coming into today's game after last night? Day game after night game notwithstanding.
There could be a little layer there. I'm sure the players will continue to talk about it. It's like a family. You know, an issue just doesn't die. You continue to kind of grind on it. But I think that this will bond the club a lot. You know, Rich Hill has had a great time coming over here and being a Dodger and being productive right away. So he's got a lot of friends on the team, and I know Dave Roberts has a lot of respect from the team.
What was fascinating, again, in retrospect, Roberts said all the right things. Hill said all the right things. The Dodgers came away with a win, and they begin the day 4 games in front of the Giants as Utley takes a strike, and we're underway. Chase Utley at .252 with a dozen home runs. And of course, he has faced the Marlins quite a bit over the course of his career, all those years with the Phillies in the National League East. Inside, 1-1. Arena's 24, and this is his 25th appearance overall, and his 9th start. Outfield, Yelich in center field, particularly shallow. 2 balls and a strike, and this is a spacious ballpark. Two and one to Chase Utley. 1 hop right at Echeverria. Now the Marlins defense, brought to you by Clamato.
Oh, we look over there at first base, and that's Justin Bour. We know the big bat in this Marlins lineup, Giancarlo Stanton, but the other big bat is Justin Bour. A lot of the Marlins front office talk about when he went down, that really hurt the meat part of this lineup, but he's back in there, back at first base. And just to put it in perspective, 15 home runs and 217 at bats.
And this is just his 72nd game as Reddick takes a strike.
Just like thinking, you put that in perspective, that's approximately 1 every 14 at bats.
So you're basically missing your 3-4 hitters in Bour and and Stanton. Reddick pops out. There's 2 out. Here comes Corey Seager. .319 with 25 home runs, 68 runs batted in, and he has been red hot. Between he and his brother, what a brother act this year. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Corey with 25 home runs. Older brother Kyle has 28, so that's 53 between them. The record for brothers hitting home runs line foul in a single season. Go back to 2002. The brothers Giambi, Jason with 41, Jeremy with 20. So the Seager brothers are closing in. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Among Los Angeles Dodger rookies, Steve Sax in 1982 had 180 base hits. That's the all-time. Seager's at 174, and there are 21 games left in the season. Corey already has set the rookie record for runs and doubles. Not likely to catch Piazza in home runs. Mike had 35 in his rookie year in 1993. Seager 25. Seager down on strikes, and Urena had an easy first inning. Kenta Maeda getting ready for his 28th start of the season when we come back. Average among teams in the National League will be led off by D. Gordon, then Ichiro, Martin Prado at third base, Christian Yelich out of Westlake, Justin Bour is back off the disabled list, JT Real Muto in the top 10 in hitting, Derek Dietrich in left, Danny Echeverria at shortstop. Urena is pitching and batting ninth against Kenta Maeda.
Kenta Maeda has been hot, and he's been hot for the Dodgers. He's won an awful lot of games lately, and the Dodgers have won 7 out of his last 8 starts. He has really carried this team throughout the year.
In search of his 15th win. And Gordon, wasting no time, spanks a single into center. Well, of course, D. Gordon always a threat to steal. 17 stolen bases. His speed set up a run on Friday night. And here is Ichiro. Mother Nature and Father Time haven't had the courtesy to tell him he's 42. He wouldn't listen anyway. Slowly hit. Maeda, Seager. Whoa, what a double play. What a throw from Maeda. Perfect lead pass to Seager.
Well, on this one, we know how there's shifts now in baseball, guys playing in different spots. This one, it just seemed like there might have been a little bit of lack of communication, knowing who's supposed to cover second base on the ball come back to the pitcher, because you see Chase in there as well with Corey Seager. But fortunately, Corey Seager gets that coming across the bag to finish that double play. And good job by Maeda, but not getting just focusing on, let me just throw to the bag and let them worry about who's going to make that play.
Yeah, you guys figure it out. And to get the speedy Gordon and the speedy Ichiro. 2 out. Martin Prado takes a strike. It's 0-1. Boy, what are the odds of getting a double play with Gordon and Ichiro? Wow. Prado with 7 home runs. Into center field. Peterson is there, and that ends the inning. Well, that was a quick one, wasn't it? We'll go to the second inning. No score. September Sunday afternoon in Miami as the Dodgers and the Marlins finish up their season series. Marlins have already won it, taken 5 of 6 games from the Dodgers. Last year the Dodgers 4-2 against Miami. So here's Adrian Gonzalez stepping in, riding a 9-game hitting streak, and he's first pitch swinging and fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-1. Yasmani Grandal and Jock Peterson will follow.
8-minute first inning. 4-pitch inning for Kenta Maeda.
They got the memo. It was getaway day.
I guess so. Usually umpires are accused of that. Old home plate umpires used to get accused of that, as they'd be flying on their commercial flights and they would want to make the early one to get to their next city.
Oh, come on. Umpires never did that.
You always knew on getaway day you were going to get a little more on the edges.
1-2 of Adrian Gonzalez.
Now with the lasers grading the strike zones, they can't do that anymore.
They'll have to take the next flight. With Grandal on deck, the count is 1-2. 2 strikeouts in a row for Arena, and that's the first out of the second. What impresses you, Oral, about this young kid?
Well, the live arm first and foremost. You just go amazing potential. And, you know, he's only had 17 starts in the big leagues, this being his 18th. So he is still learning. It's like watching our De Leon or Urias,
whom we will see the next few days. And Grandal on the first pitch he sees flies to Dietrich.
So these kids, when we see these young kids and they're inside of their first 50 starts, let's say, about a year and a half of starts, they are learning every time they cock their arm and go out there and face a big league hitter. Talking to the people around the Marlins, this young man's starting to really finally grasp the fact that he needs to keep the ball down, which Nomar talked about in his introduction.
Well, Jock Peterson, a couple of home runs last night. One a high majestic blast into the upper deck, and one a screaming line drive over the wall and right. Jock with 22 home runs now. And right to D. Gordon. And another 1-2-3 inning for Urena. We go to the bottom of the second. No score from Miami. Second, a look at the Dodger defense, brought to you by Clamato.
Well, Howie Kendrick back in the lineup over there, but at third base. We often see him either in left field or at second base, but the reason he's at third base, getting Justin Turner the day off after a day game after a night game, but also because we have Andre Ethier back out there in left field.
So Ethier is going to make his first start. Here's Christian Yelich leading it off. And he takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Yelich at .301 with 18 home runs, 57 runs batted in. The Valley Boy is second only to Nolan Arenado in RBIs since the All-Star break. Arenado 48, Yelich with the 42. 2 balls and no strikes. We finally catch our breath a little bit after a hastily played inning and a half.
It's only been 4 innings every half inning. 4 minutes every half inning.
Oh, we are managing Maeda's pitch count. He's at 7 coming up.
The interesting thing about Kenta Maeda as the season has gone on, they've made adjustments early in the year, throwing too many sliders, got to get back to the fastball. Well, lately he's been throwing more sliders because he's adjusting back to the league again.
Oh, that's nasty. 2-2.
I think they've really found the extra day's rest makes that slider a lot sharper. When earlier in the year when it was too many sliders, he was also on normal rest. Now that he's been able to slip in there and get that 5th or 6th day rest in the second half of the season, that slider has been a lot sharper and got good finish.
Of course, this is his first year on this side of the Pacific. And in Japan, they're used to pitching once a week. Their season is about 25 games shorter. The travel is not nearly as oppressive. And so he has been, in that regard, learning on the fly. And so where the Dodgers can give him the extra day, he's more than happy to take it. And they're more than happy to give it. And there's the fastball.
And Dave Roberts was asked about that, about Kenta Maeda and getting that extra day's rest, and he said, listen, you know, one, Kenta Maeda has been open to it and understanding it, so he hasn't really gotten any, you know, any riff back from Kenta Maeda. He understands it and respects that. But at the same time, Dave Roberts is also looking down the stretch in September. He's like, I want to make sure that he's strong. This is something totally new for him. So let's make sure he's strong down the stretch, September, and hopefully the postseason when we're going to need him most.
2-2 to Yelich with Justin Bour on deck. He's got some spin today.
Coming out of spring training, if I'd have told you he's going to lead in starts and innings pitched and have a strikeout over an inning pitch, and Clayton's not even going to be in his, you know, rear view mirror, you'd say the Dodgers are going to have a rough year.
And among all major league rookie pitchers, he leads in wins, strikeouts, innings pitched, and starts. Kenta Maeda. 3-2. Dodger lead over the Giants is 4. They get started a little later on. Matt Moore and Zach Greinke in Phoenix. Yelich has walked 60 times this year, and he has been struck out 123. Right to Gonzalez. That's the first out of the second.
That's a big one. Christian Yelich this year, a .378 on base percentage, worked that count all the way to 3-2 after falling behind, and Maeda got him out with a 3-2 breaking ball.
Maeda retired the side on 4 pitches in the first. It took 9 pitches to get Yelich out of the way. The big power bat is back in the lineup. Justin Bour has missed 57 games. There's a Matt Adams quality about him. Big burly left-handed hitter and a breaking ball on the corner for a strike.
He reminds me a little bit of Jim Thome. Just the size and just country strong.
JT Realmuto is on deck. This will be an easy play for Chase Utley. Quickly 2 out. Now here's Realmuto. Realmuto is 5th in the league with that .313 batting average. Who saw that one coming? Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Above and beyond his ability to hit, he's a very fast base runner. Not for a catcher. He's a fast base runner, period. 10 home runs, 41 runs batted in. He knocked one out of the park against Kershaw in the first inning on Friday night. There's Clayton. He's pitching Wednesday in the matinee in the Bronx. A few weeks ago when we looked at the schedule going to the Yankees for 3 games, and the Yankees were essentially out of it. Well, it's a whole new team over there.
Once they went through the Alex Rodriguez saga, kind of getting him off the roster. Teixeira's not playing as much. They've gone to the kids a lot more.
Here's Reddick. And Maeda, 1-2-3. We're scoreless as we go to the third. Andre Ethier, his first at bat when we come back. We head to the top half of the third and the bottom third of the Dodger order coming up, beginning with Andre Ethier. A long, hard road back. This is his first start of the season. Last year, .294 with 14 home runs, 53 runs batted in. And of course, he grounded out in his first plate appearance last night. And here we go. He hit in 9 games in rehab at Rancho and takes a strike. It's 0-1. For all the players, he's been in uniform with the Dodgers longer than any of them. Second on the list is Clayton Kershaw.
Seems odd to talk about last year or even spring training, but with Andre Ethier, that's what you have to go back to.
Into short left. Dietrich is called off by Echeverria.
Andre ended up with a cross section last year of the wisdom of how to play, and the health had finally returned, and he had really found himself as a player and as a hitter again. And then in spring training picked up right where he left off. We thought, oh my gosh, he's going to have a big year. And then the foul ball came.
Not only just a big year, they were looking to see he was going to be the leadoff hitter. Looked like he was going to win that position at spring training.
And he was going to be the left fielder on paper. Well, the Dodgers have gone through a bunch of left fielders, including Howie Kendrick, who's starting at third base today. And grounds to his counterpart. Prado throws across the diamond, quickly 2 out. Nobody's complaining about pace of game so far this afternoon.
Well, you got Urena up there throwing strikes and pounding that strike zone, and we talked about he's got a live arm, and you can just watch this game and see the movement of that fastball. I mean, it has some late movement and gets a lot of ground balls.
11 pitches in the first inning, 7 in the second. And that's the 7th of the third. A call strike to Maeda. 6 hits on the year, a home run and a double. No score, 2 out in the third inning.
You're going to think maybe I'm a little crazy, but I see a Martinez in him. And it's not Pedro. It's his brother Ramon.
Got that whipping thing going on.
Yeah.
He's long and lean.
Yeah, and he's very angular with his mechanics.
That fastball had plenty of movement too. Maeda down.
Is it too soon to say he's got a perfect game going?
I don't think so.
Kenta Maeda on the hill for his third inning of work. Ichiro Suzuki, at 42 years young, is still making history in this great game. On August 7th against the Colorado Rockies, career hit number 3,000. Time now for the T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Ichiro on the 7th became just the 30th player to achieve the feat. And of course, the Miami Marlins wanting to celebrate and commemorate the opportunity for this. 3,000 different bats have been made to commemorate that day. Now, Ichiro is not known to be the biggest autograph signer in the world, so he gladly signed 25 bats. And if you purchase one of the 3,000 bats that were produced, you might have an opportunity to get a very rare Ichiro Suzuki signature, guys.
Derek Dietrich to lead it off against Kenta Maeda. And it's 1 ball and no strikes, having spent the last couple of days with the Marlins. He is such an enormously popular player inside that clubhouse, and it goes without saying how well respected he is for what he has done. Dietrich. Gonzalez to Maeda, and that's the first out of the third.
Yeah, they were talking about, they were showing the commemorative bats that they were showing there, the 3,000 fans can get, and he signed 25. But what Ichiro did, he actually ordered bats from Mizuno that he uses, the type of bats he uses, and he ordered a bunch of them and actually signed one for each of his teammates and coaching staff as well. And they thought that was just such a classy move and really appreciate that. There were a couple of coaches I talked to about that, a couple of players I talked to, and they said, yeah, it was, it was nice to see that in your locker and how great of a gesture that was.
Now Echeverria. Maeda's motoring right along too. And it's a ball strike, nothing in 1. Jose Urena is on deck. Echeverria in a slump, and we're scoreless in the bottom of the third. No balls and 2 strikes. Urena, the pitcher, is on deck. Three home runs on the season for the shortstop. 1 and 2. Maeda just 24 pitches through 2 2/3. Urena has thrown 26 pitches through 3. A defensive swing, and Echeverria will see another pitch. Echeverria, just a .226 hitter in his career against the Dodgers, and Maeda misses outside. Back tomorrow from the Bronx, the first of a 3-game series with the resurgent Yankees and Jose De Leon and Brian Mitchell. Boy, he's been much talked about. So far, so good. Here's the 2-2 into right field, and there is Reddick. That's the second out of the third.
We're going to see some good arms in New York, the 2 on our side and some of the Yankee pitchers. It's going to be exciting to watch some youngsters, just like we have this battle here today. This young man coming to the plate right here has got a lot of potential, and it's starting to blossom.
25-year-old right-hander. Has a couple of singles, and he squares to bunt. They were saying our pitchers on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the youngsters. De Leon 24, Urias 20, and that old graybeard Kershaw 28. There he is. And there they are. No balls and 2 strikes. The Marlins hanging on for dear life in the wild card race. Foul ball, and that's going to do it. First strikeout of the game for Maeda. This game motoring right along. Top of the order for the Dodgers in the top of the 4th when we come back. Challenger. Net LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. As we head to the top half of the 4th, Ichiro and Maeda will face one another in the bottom half of the 4th. But first it'll be Utley and Reddick and Seager. And the Dodgers still looking for their first base hit. 42-year-old Ichiro Suzuki and the comparatively young Chase Utley at 37. He bounced to short in his first at-bat.
The Dodgers have the first opportunity to spark an offense here in the top of the 4th. The get it started. Big win last night, coming off the loss the night before to kind of rescue the series. But now, of course, the goal all year has been to win every series that you can. That's what's in the balance today.
Beginning of the year in a 4-game series at Dodger Stadium, the Marlins won all 4. And Kershaw's comeback on Friday night, they beat the Dodgers 4-1, and last night the Hill game. There's Clayton, and he's getting ready to pitch again on Wednesday. And again, it's as much, of course, the Dodgers want to win the ball game. Now a matter of getting ready late September and on into October, which of course was the thinking behind the Roberts Hill decision last night. You can do that with a 4-game lead, but don't forget the Dodgers still have 6 with the Giants. Giants mustered up some offense last night that had been sorely lacking for pretty much since the All-Star break. Dodgers are 28-21 since intermission, while the Giants 19-32. And that is how at one point the Dodgers trailing San Francisco by 8, led us by as many as 5, a 13-game swing since the end of June. 1-2 to Chase Utley. Reddick and Seager to follow here in the 4th. The Dodgers still looking for their first base runner. Well hit to left. Dietrich going back. He's there and he's got it. 11 straight retired by Arena. Now Josh Reddick. Reddick, after the slow start, his bat finally beginning to heat up, takes a ball under the knees. Had a 7-game hitting streak snapped last night. And during that 7-game hitting streak, he hit a mere .542. 2 balls, no strikes. Roberts showing confidence in Reddick, lifting him to the 2 spot in the lineup.
This at bat, this is the first time we've seen Urena have trouble with his command. He's really been locked in on the strike zone with his pitches.
Like that one. 3-1. Yelich is there. There's 2 gone. It's 11 straight. Retired by Arena.
His second best pitch is his changeup. The breaking ball you're not going to see an awful lot of, and the primary pitch has always been the fastball, but the reason for the success now is the fact that he has learned how much life it has down there by the knees.
2 out, nobody on. Seager, a strikeout victim in his first at bat.
There's a little slider right there that he threw, but you can see why it was his 3rd best pitch. That was like a bad fastball.
Swung. When you look at the percentages breakdown coming in, 68% of the time it's a fastball coming at you, so you're ready for that fastball, but it doesn't, with all that movement, just doesn't mean you're going to square it up all the time.
No balls, 2 strikes.
And there's the changeup.
At 89 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's just, this generation, it's just so surprising how many guys throw 94 miles an hour and above. Just one great arm after another. I mean, 89 was the average big league fastball when I played.
And the other thing now in the bullpen, you got to have a dozen guys that come out of the bullpen by and large throwing 95 to 100. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
J.R. Richard, Nolan Ryan, Dwight Gooden, Alejandro Pena was one of the hardest throwers on the Dodgers through '93.
Two and 2 to Seager. Right at Gordon. 12 in a row retired by 25-year-old Jose Urena. In Scully weekend at Dodger Stadium, Friday, September the 23rd through Sunday, September the 25th. Highlights include Friday's pregame ceremony featuring special guests and Saturday's limited edition commemorative coin giveaway. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/LA-LOVES-VIN. They used to be neighbors in Pacific Palisades. Vin, you want to come over? Well, all right.
For some jelly beans?
That's right. D. Gordon leading it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon singled on the first pitch of the game. And to this point, he has been the only base runner of the game. He was quickly erased on a double play. Urena's been perfect through 4. Maeda's been nearly perfect through 3. One ball and 2 strikes to D. Gordon with Ichiro coming up next. Marlins saw their 2-game winning streak come to an end last night. They're still hanging in the wild card race as Gordon slaps it away.
Until you're mathematically eliminated, you have hope, and that's what's going through that locker room there, where Don Mattingly and Tim Wallach in charge over there.
The Pirates are fading fast. The Marlins still feel like they've got a pretty healthy heartbeat. Giants are sitting a little prettier than the Cardinals and the Mets, but nothing certain. Gordon is struck out, but to complete it, Grandal has to throw him out. That's the 2nd strikeout for Maeda. Milano is talking about Ichiro and his bats. Now he's got his own stash of bats. He doesn't just get wood. He gets his very own wood. What's the deal?
Oh yeah, they get makes very special bats for Ichiro Suzuki. I mean, even when he travels with them, it seems like I think he has a special case they put him in, like almost a humidor just for his bats. And there's some people have said that even in Japan, they go, he may have just out of a special forest or one particular forest as the wood come from his bats, you know, but I don't know how true that is.
Ichiro's enchanted forest.
Yes.
What's fascinating is that he has more difficulty over here against Japanese pitchers than he does against everybody else. He's faced 20 different Japanese pitchers over the course of his career on this side of the ocean. He's hitting .233 against them. Care to explain, Mr. 373?
No, I can't explain that. I mean, you got a career .313 average over here in the major leagues for Ichiro, and I don't know, maybe he presses when he's going up against a fellow countryman.
Well, I'll tell you what, the fellow countrymen's on the mound really want to get him out because he is the idol. It's like getting your idol out.
Such was the case when Hideki Matsui came over, and all the enormous press attention they would receive. Here's the 2-2 into short center, and it drops over the head of Seager and in front of Peterson for a base hit, the second given up by Maeda.
Of course, he heard us talking about it, and he wants to change that average right here as he fights this one off. He doesn't square it up, just gets enough of it so it can fall over right over Seager's head. Looked like for a second that Seager might have had a chance at it.
For the fellow countrymen that throw the ball to Ichiro, a lot of times the hitter asks for the ball on a hit. I could see Maeda saying, I want to keep that ball.
A hit?
Yeah, because if somebody is well known and you really respect as Ichiro and you give up a hit, I might put that on my shelf.
Do you have my hit off you on your shelf?
No,
just one.
No, I didn't. I didn't keep that one.
Ran out of room.
As you told me, it supposedly went off my shin.
I mean, you still have a mark on your shin from it, right?
Come on.
That's why you didn't keep it.
I can't believe you put yourself in the category of Ichiro.
I'm not putting that. I'm just asking. I'm just surprised you would keep a hit from somebody who got a hit off you.
Or his shin.
Right.
Prado flied to center in his first at-bat. And Ichiro, at the ripe old age of 42, can steal a base. He's 10 out of 12 this year. A couple of pretty good hitters, huh? First base umpire Tom Woodring listening in.
Yeah, I would go to the clinic where those two talked hitting. Put Nomar in there as a right-hander also. That'd be a very high-end hitting clinic.
0-2 to Prado. No score, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. And both pitchers have brought their A game to this point. Maeda has surrendered 2 hits. He has struck out 2, hasn't walked anybody. Reyna has struck out 2 and retired all 12 batters he has faced to this point. Talking about Prado all weekend. He's not a superstar player, but he has every skill required to be a great player.
He's a baseball player. He's a gym rat. He understands the game and he applies his skills and he works at it. You just see the details. He goes about right here, even in the box. There's no wasted movement.
When he first came up with the Braves, Bobby Cox raved about him and his just instinctive baseball skills.
Kind of reminds me of Chase Utley. Just kind of the respect he gets, the way he plays the game, plays it hard. You talk about the baseball skills, the baseball IQ, the instincts for the game that they both have.
And Orel mentioned Howie Kendrick the other night too. They just go out and play.
I just thought of Howie because he's starting to play a lot of positions like Prado. I don't think anybody thought how he was going to turn into the left fielder that he has become for the Dodgers this year. Now playing third base here.
Kendrick has started 70 games in left field this year. He figured he was going to spend time dividing duty with Utley at second. And there's Prado slapping a base hit into right. Ichiro holds at second. Again, doing all the little things. The pitch was on the outer edge, and he just went with it.
Yeah, it really showed his baseball IQ right there, the way he hits this ball.
It looked like he's almost even shortened up in his stance there, where it wasn't really about, I'm not worried about driving the ball or trying to hit the gap. I'm just trying to make sure I make contact. He does exactly that as he just punches that to right field.
First threat of the game, and Christian Yelich is stepping in. Yelich would bounce out in his first at-bat, but it was a 9-pitch battle with Kenta Maeda, and this is his first taste of trouble. Yelich, in his last 8 games against his hometown team, the Dodgers, 13 for 30, 433. .42 RBIs for Yelich since the All-Star break. Only Nolan Arenado has more in the National League. Arenado has 48 of them. One ball, one strike to Christian Yelich, with the power hitting Justin Bour on deck.
Rich Hill threw an awful lot of breaking balls to these Marlins last night. And I'll tell you what, Kenta Maeda's throwing a lot of breaking balls, and he's also changing speeds on the slider and the curveball.
One and two.
Done slider, curveball, slider here to Yelich. These Marlins are not getting any fastballs early in the count. Kenta's only thrown 3 fastballs on first pitch so far here today.
Are you inclined to throw more breaking stuff and off-speed stuff to a younger team?
The younger, more aggressive team, yeah, and then especially the night before when somebody was successful with off-speed pitches. You start to maybe go to sleep that night. Think about that. You might add that in.
Up and in, 2 and 2.
It was a good pitch right there by Maeda. That's exactly where Grandal wanted it. He asked for that fastball up. This is, you're already getting swinging over a couple of breaking balls. As a hitter, you're like, all right, he's going to try to get me to swing at that breaking ball down. Now you just set myself up. My sights up with that high fastball. Now you set up if you wanted to go back down there again and make it look like a strike to try to get another swing and a miss.
3 and 2.
Decent wheels on the bases. You might see him start the runners here even with 1 out. And Yelich, the way he's been swinging the bat and also getting all the information off of Maeda, I'm sure Don Mattingly doesn't think he's going to strike out here.
Yelich has walked 60 times this year. He's been struck out twice as many, 123. But Ichiro and Prado, good speed. Seager trying to keep Ichiro close. They're not going. Lined into left center field for a base hit. Suzuki will score. Prado's on his way to third. An RBI single for Christian Yelich. And the Marlins take a 1-0 lead.
Two breaking ball left up a little bit. You want to try and throw a strike. It ends up right down the middle, and as a pitcher in a 3-2 count and you're throwing a breaking ball, you're not really throwing one to strike him out, because you want to get a pitch that you're not going to walk him, but give yourself a chance to get him out with the off-speed stuff. But Yelich stays right on that, hits at the opposite field.
So Maeda's down a run as Justin Bour is coming up. Big fella's back from a badly sprained ankle.
Sprained that ankle stepping on first, trying to beat out a ground ball in the infield.
Outside. Bour grew up in Washington, went to school at George Mason. 6'3" and about 270. Into right, a long run for Riddick, and he tracks it down. But tagging and scoring is Prado, and the Marlins take a 2-0 lead.
Justin Bour does a good job. You saw that he looked like he was out in front of that ball, but he's so big and strong that even if his timing seemed off out in front, he can still drive it to the warning track, as Riddick had to make a nice catch on that ball.
So Bour is back and the Dodgers are down, and Real Muto is stepping in. JT Real Muto fly to right in his first at bat. And the way Arenas pitched to this point, 2 runs, seems like a pretty tall mountain.
12 up, 12 down.
And nobody's been close. You could hear Bill Miller scream out the call strike. Bill, the crew chief.
When you think about loud umpires, who do you think of? For me, Dutch Renner. Also currently Jim Joyce.
I was just going to say.
Jim Joyce is mine.
Jim Joyce and I went to the same college at the same time, Bowling Green State University in Ohio, and he was a pitcher. He was an upperclassman when I got there, and he would pitch his innings to build up for the season, and then he would immediately take his uniform off, go put umpiring stuff on, and he would ump our inter-squad games. He wanted to be a major league umpire right from college, even though he was a pretty decent pitcher. And he's always been a really good pitcher's umpire.
He's just universally respected.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the effort and the concentration that he gives on a daily basis.
But also his just demeanor on the field. You can talk to him.
Yeah.
Up the third base line, tough play for Kendrick. Real Muto, we told you he doesn't just run well for a catcher. He runs well and gets the infield hit. 4th hit of the inning.
When Craig Biggio was a catcher early in his career, Russell Martin, there have been some fleet-footed catchers in the big leagues, and he is now one of them. It's not even close.
That's a tough play for Howie Kendrick. It's one of those where, as an infielder, in hindsight, and you recognize how, he's fast. There's no question. I mean, you have your scouting report and you know that, and you saw that. First of all, your instinct is to try to make the play. But then afterwards, you're like, he probably could have just held on to that ball because he had that pretty easy.
Derek Dietrich bounced to first in his first at bat. A couple of runs in here in the 4th. Inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Maeda threw 30 pitches through the first 3 innings. He's about to throw his 30th of the 4th.
Half the pitches in this inning. I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a ball or even if it's a strike. I'll go out and visit him, give him a blow.
2 balls, no strikes. And the inning began Gordon striking out. But then 3 hits, a sac fly, and an infield hit. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Marlins. Dodgers nothing across. Adeiny Echeverria is next. Should be an easy play for Seager. Wide throw, and Gonzalez is off the bat. And that will load the bases.
Some errors hurt and some errors really hurt. And this one really hurts because of where Maeda's pitch count is, and now that he has to pitch with bases loaded. And Corey Seager will tell you every time that he should have made that play.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he did everything right except for the throw. Just threw it off, pulled him off the bag.
They're going to take a look at it, I think. It's close.
It's close, but I don't think Adrian was able to keep his toe on there long enough, and it didn't look like he was able to get the tag on him either.
Tom Woodring, who made the call at first base, and the crew chief Bill Miller put on the headphones.
There definitely was no tag. I guarantee you what they're going to look at is to see when Adrian caught this ball, did he still, they're going to see if he still had his toe on the base. And that's really going to be the key. As we have a look here, so he definitely misses the tag. But watch Adrian's toe when the ball gets into his glove. Is his toe still on there?
I think he's out.
Yeah, so that might be it right there where they're going to call, but that's from this angle, but they're also seeing it from other angles as well. They're going to check out another angle too to see exactly if it stayed on or not. And they're also going to see if there was enough evidence. I mean, let's not forget, they may say there might not be enough evidence to see if this call just stands as called on the field.
Dietrich is either out or safe by a toenail.
Ooh. So you have reversed, stands, and
confirmed. Those are the three calls that you get, that the umpires get.
Stands is not enough evidence.
Stands is not enough evidence, and the call on the field stands.
Yeah.
And then they'll confirm it as whatever see, they're calling it safe. And I bet because we eventually get the emails and tells us what the call was, and I bet we're going to eventually get that email to say that was stands, not necessarily confirm that he was safe.
Now Rick Honeycutt is going to come out along with Maeda's interpreter Will Ireton.
You definitely want to give him a rest, and even got a little more rest with the challenge. And this is really a huge at bat. It's 2-0 against a guy who's throwing a perfect game so far through 4, compared to maybe 4-0. Is a lot bigger.
And Echeverria coming up has been slumping badly. So Maeda can ill afford give up a hit to him. That's Yelich at third, Realmuto at second, and Dietrich at first. 2 runs are in. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 30 pitches for Maeda through the first 3 innings. His first pitch to Echeverria will be the 32nd thrown in the inning, and a fly ball to short left. Ethier coming in. He's there and he's got it, and that'll end the inning. Couple of runs, 4 hits, a costly error as we go to the 5th. 2-0 Miami.
take a look at our Carl's Cam replay, and it's been Ureña for the Marlins today, throwing a perfect 4 innings so far. He's got good movement on the sinker. He's got a good shot breaking ball, and he's keeping it down in the zone and getting a lot of ground balls.
So here's a rhetorical question for the both of you. If Ureña is working a perfect game, and we're talking about it, are we jinxing it? Or is it only the Marlins announcers, when they talk about it, they are jinxing?
We have less reverence for it when the opposing team is doing it.
I'm sure they were talking about it for the Marlins broadcast yesterday.
So it's their fault. It was their fault. Now we know. Adrian Gonzalez leads off in the 5th.
Trying to break up a perfect game.
Gonzalez struck out in his first at-bat. 2-0. And Ureña has been letter perfect. Dodgers have not come close to a hit as yet. 1 ball, 1 strike to Adrian Gonzalez, riding a 9-game hitting streak. Grandal and Peterson to follow. Two and 1 to Adrian Gonzalez. 17 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Two and 2. For the Dodgers, this is their 141st game of the year, and for Gonzalez, his 138th. Second time down on strikes, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Ureña.
A little different pitch selection here. This is the breaking ball, and it goes straight down like a split finger. It's not going to have much side-to-side action. It either kind of corkscrews and does barely anything, or goes down like that.
So 1 out and nobody on. Grandal. Fly to left in his first at-bat. He's been home this weekend. After escaping Cuba, he grew up in Miami, graduated high school here, went to the University of Miami. And with 25 home runs and 64 runs batted in. Into left, Dietrich misjudged it, but now he's got time to recover.
And that at bat, it's a perfect example of the movement on Ureña's pitches right now. Is Dodgers aren't just able to really square it up. I mean, that ball started in the strike zone, and the swing by Grandal looks like he was about to square it up, but the late movement, it goes off the end of his bat. We have a look here. You see where this ball starts. He takes a good swing, and then right at the very end is where he ends up getting it off the end.
Well, fishtail at the end. There's 2 out, and Jock Peterson bounced to second base in his first at bat. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
You asked me last night, Charlie, what inning do you start thinking about it, and what inning do you start talking about it? We're an out away.
Well, we can talk about it. Whether they talk about it and think about it's another story.
Well, we were talking about it yesterday too. So,
but you knew last night, even early on in the game, that Hill had no hit stuff, much less perfect stuff. And the way this kid's been throwing, an entirely different repertoire. Every bit as successful.
You know, one guy lives with his fastball, the one on the mound today, and the other one lives and dies with the curveball.
Three balls and a strike. Peterson has a .348 on base percentage, and he has walked 53 times. And there goes the perfect game, and there goes the no-hitter. So Peterson, a 2-out single to center here in the 5th.
And we are officially the jinx.
Don't pin the rap on us. Blame it on Dave Van Horn, for goodness sake.
It just shows you how fortunate you are to throw a no-hitter, throw a perfect game when that ball is just a routine ground ball, just happens to be in the right place.
Ethier popped to short in his first at bat.
And most perfect games and no-hitters are thrown by guys that strike out a lot of people because of that, where the baseball probabilities, when you put the ball in play, there's just a pretty good chance that it's going to find a hit if you're not striking people out. So you've got to eliminate the times that the ball's put in play, and that gives you a better chance for that no-hitter.
And once or twice in one of those big games, there's some spectacular defensive play, which was the case last night with Puig. To center field, Yelich heading back, and he'll track it down. That'll end the inning. No runs and a hit. We're already halfway through the game. 2.5 or 2-0 Marlins after 4.5.
Four and 2/3. That man, Rich Hill, was perfect through 7 before being taken out after 89 pitches in a very controversial and much talked about decision by manager Dave Roberts. Certainly still thinks he made the right decision after speaking with him today. I asked him, though, what would he have done if it would have been Kershaw on the hill? And he just squinched his entire face, guys. He said, "Ugh, that may have gotten physical."
Reina on the first pitch is retired here in the 5th inning. You know, that moment last night involving Roberts and Hill and the club and looking ahead down the road is what makes baseball so wonderful. Was there any absolutely right decision to make? It wasn't out or safe. It was all right. How are we going to weigh this thing out? Again, perhaps if there were no blister issues involving Hill, that might have altered the equation. And then it was, we were talking about last night, Hill has been such a great story. Here he's 36 years old and he has 37 career wins. And with absolutely no disrespect, he was a guy just trying to make his way. A couple of years ago, he's pitching for the Long Island Ducks, and somehow he was able to discover something, rediscover something. He's in the middle of a perfect game, and then there's this pothole on the road.
7 years ago had shoulder surgery. 2014 had Tommy John surgery. Could have very easily lacked the passion and the dedication to even want to come back. Because it wasn't like his best year was in 2007. 32 starts for the Chicago Cubs. He was 11-8. This is a guy that has an ERA under 2 in the last year, and still his career ERA is over 4.
And in his 3 games with the Dodgers, 19 innings, 20 strikeouts, 2 walks, he's given up 6 hits, and opponents are hitting .095 against him. And there he is. He's standing, staring at baseball immortality. Only 23 perfect games ever thrown during the regular season. Then, of course, you include Don Larson in the World Series.
In a lot of statistical categories, there's only one pitcher that has thrown the ball better than him since his 4 starts in Boston last year, the ones in Oakland this year, and the ones with the Dodgers this year. And the only guy that's been better has been Clayton Kershaw. That's the kind of pitcher that the front office, Andrew Friedman, went out and got for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Maybe a name you've never not heard of, but they went out and got the best that you could go get.
And you're mentioning it, Charlie. Well, the blister, well, that is a major factor. If there wasn't a blister involved, I think he would have seen him stay out there. That's a major factor, because the blister and the fact that you're in a pennant race here toward the end, and how critical he is to this Dodger rotation. But if there was no blister and he was fine and he came over, I mean, let's not forget, when he came over to the Dodgers, he was on the DL. And there were numerous times they said, okay, he's ready to pitch, and they had to push it back because of a flare-up in a blister. So that's a major reason why he was taken out yesterday.
Into center field, and Peterson is there. Alana?
Issue was something, guys, that came up after the first inning. It wasn't as if it arose in the 6th or 7th inning. Dave Roberts said that the training staff and he were keeping an eye on it very closely after every single inning. In fact, Dave Roberts wanted to take Rich Hill out after the 6th inning, but felt at that point in the game he still gave them the best chance to win, pitching the 7th inning. But it was something they were monitoring all game, and they didn't want to push it forward because they wanted to make sure he could make the start in Arizona and then against the Giants.
And then, more importantly, come October. And again, the Dodgers are without McCarthy and Kazmir and Anderson. And the reason, big reason, when they went and got Hill was because of the infirmities of those fellas and the way he has pitched. And Dave was talking about it before the game today as Ichiro, no balls, 2 strikes. So now we can throw out Kershaw, Hill, and Maeda in a short series and feel pretty good about the possibilities.
To Alana's point, remember in the top of the 7th, Andre Ethier was talking with Dave Roberts, and Dave Roberts was talking with Hill as they were coming up.
Ichiro hits it high and deep, and Riddick on the warning track makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Nothing across. Maeda can exhale. We'll go to the 6th. Fan Appreciation Day at Dodger Stadium culminates our weekend salute to Vid. No last name necessary. In addition to having a chance to win prizes throughout the game, first 50,000 fans in attendance will also receive a special commemorative edition of Dodger Insider dedicated to Vin Scully's career. Visit Dodgers.com/LA loves Vin. Dietrich is there. One pitch, one out as Kendrick flies to left. How many people can you name that need no last name where you immediately know who you're talking about?
Ichiro.
That's one. Yeah.
Cher.
Madonna.
Elvis.
Madonna.
Sting.
Oprah.
Yeah. Vin.
Noma.
Mia.
Nomar and Mia.
Mia. Two in one family.
That's unbelievable. See, my family was Hey You.
Yeah.
Wow. Nomar and Mia. No last names necessary in the same house.
Let me just do that because mine's way too long.
I got Oral Roberts. Oral toothbrush.
I think we'll put a period on that sentence.
I didn't know it was a sentence.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's just come to an end for all of our sakes.
Yeah.
1 and 2. 1 out in the 6th inning. Utley on deck, and Maeda's done. That's the 4th strikeout for Arena, and there's 2 out. Chase Utley is 0 for 2. Outside of Jock Peterson, who singled to center with 2 out in the 5th inning. Every Dodger is 0 for something. Outside of last night, when the Dodgers came up with 5 runs and 8 hits, the Marlins pitching in the 7 games this season, the Marlins have won 5 of 6, has really held the Dodger bats in check.
These Marlins, the young arms that they have coming. Kohler was making adjustments in his mechanics and didn't show it last night, but prior to that had really started to throw the ball well. Don Mattingly said with Jose Fernandez now back, it's exciting. This young man on the mound now, you could see going into next year in the early publications that the Marlins will be written about in a way that they could surprise some people.
They're heading in the right direction. 2 out, nobody on here in the 6th. '97 on the scoreboard, 96 on the monitor. Either way, got there in a hurry.
Ho hum fastball for him.
On 1 and 2. Oh, look at the play by D. Gordon, robbing Chase Utley. D. Gordon, Gold Glove winner last year. Flashing the leather after 5.5. Gordon and the Marlins have a 2-0 lead. Some play.
Spa slow-mo cam, and we go to last year's second base Gold Glove winner Dee Gordon. He had 3 prior 4-3s, but this one is the most picturesque. Well done, Mr. Dee Gordon. Wish you didn't do it against the Dodgers.
Well, Martin Prado will lead off for the Marlins. He put the D into defense. Prado takes a strike. It's 0-1. Marlins 2 runs and 6 hits. Prado singled and scored one of the 2 runs against Maeda back in the 4th. Dodgers have had 1 base runner today. 1 ball, 1 strike to Martin Prado. Maeda, his 76th pitch upcoming. In the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Martin Prado is 2 for 3, a single to left. Again, talking about Prado and all the little things. First at bat, pitch was down and away, hit it to right. Pitch was down and in this time, singles to left.
See where Grandal wanted that ball. That one was just up. Maeda missing his spot there. Prado able to barrel it up. Or last inning they were able to get to Maeda. They had 5 hits in that last, I'm sorry, in the 4th inning when they scored their runs. It wasn't the last inning, but in that 4th inning. So they were able to square some up, and there Maeda in that 4th inning wasn't quite as sharp.
Yelich would single homer run in that 4th inning.
The ground ball to Corey Seager got scored a hit. What a gift.
Yeah, that's right. When that pulled Adrian off the bag, and we were talking about that, how they went to go review it. And in case you were back home, we were talking about it and you were wondering, and we did get that email, and that as they reviewed it, the play stands, so there wasn't enough to overturn that call or to confirm it.
Well, over the course of a season, as we travel around, and frankly even at Dodger Stadium, you see curious calls by official scorers that tend to protect the home team. Just does. It's just part of the game. Luis Avalon going to work. Yelich to right. It's going to drop in front of Reddick. He bobbles it. And now Prado will go to 3rd, and the throw gets away and goes into the camera well. In to score is Martin Prado. Hit and an error, 3-0 Marlins.
Well, we talk about Yelich coming into this series. We know he is just a good hitter, a good young hitter, getting better every year. And as Reddick, that ball just misplayed it out there, and they did have a chance at 3rd base at Martin Prado, because Martin Prado was thinking right when it was hit that he wasn't going to go to 3rd, but until that bobble in right field, that's when he took off. So there was a chance at him at 3rd, and then the relay from Corey Seager where he just threw it away, and that allows Yelich to go from 1st on the base hit, but all the way to 3rd because of a 2-base throw in there.
So Yelich at 3rd, a run is in, and so is the Dodger infield for Justin Bour. Coming into the game, the Dodgers had committed the fewest errors in Major League Baseball. One ball, no strikes to Bour. Way out in front. That's Yelich. Saying he's become a great hitter. He's just a great player. There's not much he can't do. Could run, hit for power, throw. The 1-1 to short. Seager will freeze the runner. So Bohr grounds out. Yelich has to stay at third base. And JT Realmuto coming up. So Maeda now is at 82 pitches. He needed but 30 to get through the first 3 innings. It's been a bit of a struggle since. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Realmuto has flied to right, an infield hit. The Dodgers again with the infield in. Big sweeping breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
It's where Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt really watched Kenta closely. It's 3rd time around in the order. Pitch count starting to climb. That's why Avilan's up in the bullpen, giving him the opportunity to rescue this run at third base. But if they get a hit here or drive this run in, I'm sure they'll think about pulling him.
Outside. For Maeda, this is his 28th start of the season. He's gone 7 innings twice. He's 5 1/3 through this journey today. Dodgers have 13 relief pitchers. It's all right. We're going to see the Yankees tomorrow. They got 14. Realmuto is down on strikes, and that's a big one for Maeda. The infield can retreat as Derek Dietrich is coming up.
I tell you, when you talk about climbing back into this game, 3 is a lot easier than 4, especially when you know what's coming out of the Miami bullpen and who's on the mound currently.
Well, with first base vacant and the light hitting Echeverria on deck, Dietrich will take a walk. An intentional walk, and that's the first walk given up by Maeda this afternoon. Giants and Diamondbacks will get underway in about an hour and a half. As Echeverria steps in, it'll be Matt Moore and Zach Greinke. Echeverria has flied routinely to right and just as routinely to left. First and third, 2 out, a run in the bottom of the 6th. No balls and 1 strike to Adeiny Echeverria. One for 9 in the series as Maeda misses outside. Reddick, Seager, and Gonzalez due to bat for the Dodgers when we go to the 7th. So Maeda desperate to minimize the damage here in the 6th. Slowly hit. Kendrick Dug out by Gonzalez, and that will end the inning. Adrian Gonzalez flashing that 4 Gold Glove caliber glove of his. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left. We head to the 7th. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Well, Jose Arena has been cruising right along. That's Jeff Francoeur takes over in left field. Derek Dietrich is done. And so is Justin Bour, who's been replaced by the one-time Dodger Miguel Rojas. A slick fielder at any position. Josh Reddick leading off in the 7th inning. One ball, no strikes. Dodgers have had one base runner all day. A 2-out single to center for Jock Peterson. And Arena has been just spectacular. At this point, the Dodgers need base runners. Down 3 to short. Echeverria. Reddick is retired. Don't want to miss Saturday, September the 24th at Dodger Stadium, when 50,000 limited edition commemorative coins honoring Vin Scully will be distributed. Presented with a certificate, these solid bronze coins are individually numbered and minted with an image of Vin and his signature greeting quote, "It's time for Dodger baseball." For more information, visit Dodgers.com/LA loves Vin. You can't help but get emotional and sentimental. The finish line is in sight. Base hit to left for Corey Seager, the Dodgers' second hit of the night.
It's important to get base runners. It's important to set the table, but to do it with less than 2 outs, even more important now that you're down by 3, coming right into the heart of the order.
And this is the Dodgers' 3rd time through facing Ureña, and hopefully after seeing him a couple of times they're able to make adjustments to the amount of movement on his pitches.
Gonzalez has struck out twice today. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
A guy like this, do you sit soft or hard because he doesn't throw many sliders?
Well, I'm sitting hard because of it's a lot of fastballs, and I'm also changing my sights, but he's been pounding that low part. So
line to right for a base hit. Dodgers have a thing going here in the 7th, first and second with 1 out. Back-to-back hits for Seager and Gonzalez.
Because my initial approach coming into the game is I'm cutting the strike zone in half, and I want to look at it at the upper half because it'll flatten out. But if he's showing over a course of a game that he's not throwing it up there and he's keeping it down, then I would move up in the box and try to get it a little bit, you know, try to catch it with less break getting me, because it's got a late break as well. So just try to adjust in any way I can.
Double barrel action in the Marlin bullpen. Mike Dunn, the lefty, and Bearclaw, the righty. 1 ball, no strikes. The Yasmani Grandal, who's flied to left twice today. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Marlins. No runs and 3 base hits for the Dodgers, who have a bit of a rally going here in the 7th. One ball, 1 strike to Yasmani Grandal, who is the tying run at the plate with 25 home runs and 64 runs batted in. Low. Now it's 76 pitches for the 25-year-old right-hander. Hasn't walked anybody today. He's got 24 walks in 65 innings coming in. Grandal swings and misses, and it's 2-2. Jock Peterson on deck. Peterson with 2 home runs last night. Grandal foul tips it.
Ball hit the dirt for sure.
Grandal 25 home runs. Grounds to second. Gordon to second. On to first. Double play. That'll do it. A 4-6-3 double play. 7th inning stretch on September 11th, 2016. 15 years later.
9/11. We ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the singing of God Bless America by Rachel Osinoff.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home, home, sweet home.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, Marlins.
calendar. From Yankee Stadium tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, Jose De Leon and Brian Mitchell, Julio Urias and CC Sabathia will be pitching on Tuesday. Wednesday, a matinee, Clayton Kershaw and Michael Pineda. Luis Avilan now on in relief of Kenta Maeda. Went 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, and 8 base hits. Avilan's 20th appearance. And Arena's batting for himself. 1-2. He's been brilliant today. Scattered 3 hits. He struck out 4. Hasn't walked anybody. And he bangs a base hit into right field. Reddick for a moment had a notion of trying to throw to first base, but Arena was having none of that.
It looked like Martin Prado there. The ball the way, and he just kind of goes with it and gets a base hit to right field.
And was sprinting out of the box. That's Perry Hill, one of the most respected coaches in the game. Infield coach, first base coach. You talk to defenders who come here and they all rave about him and his skills. D. Gordon coming up. Gordon is 1 for 3. A single to center on the first pitch that he saw in the first inning. Now, why would the Dodgers be preoccupied with Arena at first?
I have no idea.
Maybe they think they can just catch him leaning, possibly. Maybe Avilan doesn't like the pitch called from Grandal.
They are paying close attention to also because Adrian Gonzalez is trying to cheat in on the D. Gordon bunt.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is if he possibly bunts there, if they get him maybe a step back, they can get the force out at second.
It'd be easier to throw out than D.
Yep, exactly right.
Oh, and 1 to Gordon. They get 1 and they get 2. Did Gordon take it off the finger? It didn't sound good from here.
Yeah, it looked like it did catch part of his finger. Which even if it catches his finger, I'm surprised that D. Gordon just didn't hustle out of the box either way. You know, I know you're, don't get me wrong, that hurts a lot.
I think he was hoping the ball was foul, and all of a sudden you realize it's fair.
Well, lucky for the Dodgers, able to get a double play.
And 2 out. So here's Ichiro. And his special brand of wooden bat. Into left, and there's Ethier. Avalon a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 8th. Peterson, Ethier, and Kendrick are coming up. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. Well, D. Gordon is back out. Bruised digit or not, we'll go to the 8th inning, and Jock Peterson leads it off. It'll be Peterson, Ethier, and Kendrick. Dodgers have been outscored 3-0, out hit 9-3. Arena's just been spectacular. Swing and a foul back. And it's 1-1.
A little easier for D. Gordon to get back out there when it's the left hand. And he's going to gets to put the glove on over the fingers that have taken a little pain.
Little pain and a lot of baseball. Peterson has to corkscrew out of the way.
If he didn't move, that would have been a lot of pain.
Jock today has singled in 2 at-bats. Two balls and 2 strikes. Just a shade over 20,000 inside Marlins Park today. And it's 3-2. Attendance has been an issue here. Three balls, 2 strikes, beginning the 8th inning, and the Dodgers down to their final 6 outs. And a ground ball to third. Prado, who was swung over, retires Peterson, first out of the 8th.
Charlie, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you remember the young man that pitched for the Atlanta Braves and missed his start because he kept going around the loop?
Wasn't that Pascal Perez?
Pascal Perez. This Arena looks a little bit like Pascal Perez.
Yeah.
The same kind of delivery, and
presumably he has a better GPS.
Yeah.
Perez was, what, 20 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Famously was late for his start because he couldn't get off the loop around Turner Field.
Around the whole city of Atlanta.
They kept going and going. And
this is pre-cell phone.
But it wasn't pre-compass.
Arena looks like his mechanics, his hairstyle, and
Ethier in his first start back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It wasn't like Turner Field moved on him.
No, it was
special.
Well, I think the Dodgers right now were hoping Urena would have gotten lost, because right now they can't figure him out.
They're the ones lost today.
And I don't know if it's just the way Ureña's pitching, which, like I said, he's been pounding the strike zone. A lot of good movement on his pitches. Also, if the Dodgers coming out a little flat today as well.
Good pitching and make you look flat.
You know, Ethier in his career against the Marlins has a lifetime batting average of .372, which is the 3rd highest against the Marlins. Jeff Cirillo and Gregor Blanco, the only ones with a higher batting average against the Marlins than Ethier, who grounds out, and there's 2 gone. Now here's Howie Kendrick. Kendrick is 0 for 2. And this kid has electric stuff, and that's Andrew Tolles waiting to pinch hit. 2 out in the 8th. The Dodgers have been shut out 8 times this year. And they've got 4 outs to do something about it. They scored only 1 run on Friday night against Marlins pitching, and that came in the 9th inning on a Grandal home run.
They have done a nice job trying to find a place for that little flat slider. Just kind of surprises the Dodgers with it.
Into right. That's going to do it. Quietly efficient is Jose Urena after 7½. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. That's Jesse Chavez to pitch the bottom half of the 8th inning after Avilan gave up no runs and a hit in the 7th. Chavez, his 57th appearance, the 4.23 ERA. And this is Martin Prado. Take the strike, 0-1. Prado 2 for 3. For Jesse Chavez, facing Prado. Chavez, his 18th appearance since coming to the Dodgers, and a .354 earned run average. One and 2 to Prado. Chavez, Southern California, born and bred, and the 1-2 on the way outside. Christian Yelich, who is on deck, also from Southern California, Westlake High School, Valley Boy. And another outstanding performance today for Yelich. Dodgers trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 8th.
Seen 3 different swings out of him. That breaking ball away, he kind of flipped out to right field. We saw the down and in breaking ball. We saw him hit the base, hit in the hole, and that high fastball right there, he just kept his hands above it and just tried to punch it.
He just knows what he's doing out there.
It's fun to watch.
Braves, Diamondbacks briefly with the Yankees. Into right, but right at Riddick.
And it's time now for our top tier play, brought to you by Arco. And it's Christian Yelich back in the 4th inning. We're showing the man in scoring position. He comes through with the base hit to put the first run on the board for the Marlins. And he gets a nice single. And then it ends up being 2 errors after that. Scores some more runs. But it was really that first one. Because so far, the way Ureña's been pitching, that's all the Marlins have needed.
So Yelich 2 for 3. And hitting 304.
And Carl's cam and Morongo slow-mo cam and all the different elements now the top tier are all Marlin highlights. You know, it's been a quiet day for the Dodgers.
Morena has scattered 3 hits. Dodgers have had a grand total of 1 runner in scoring position. 1 and 2 to Christian Yelich. Frenchie on deck, Jeff Francoeur. Two balls and 2 strikes. One gone, bottom of the 8th. In the Bronx this afternoon, in the bottom of the 7th, the Rays lead the Yankees 4-1. For the Yankees, every game has a sense of urgency from now till the end of the season as they're battling for the wild card. You've got 5 teams in the American League battling for the 2 wild card spots. Toronto, Baltimore, Detroit, New York, and Houston. You had Seattle 3.5 off. So they're going to be playing with a great sense of urgency when they host the Dodgers beginning tomorrow. Strike 3 swinging. Yelich is done, and that's the 2nd out of the 8th inning. Jeff Francoeur. You know, you were saying yesterday about Frenchie. He's one of these guys, forget the numbers, but in a clutch situation, you want him right in the middle of the scrum.
You sure do. I think he told me he has never been on a team that has been no hit or perfect gamed against, and he surely said he was praying that he would make something happen.
And he did last night. He broke up the no-hitter with the liner off the glove of Seager, and here he singles to left with 2 out. Frenchie has his own set of iTunes, loony and otherwise. But he's a baseball player.
Great guy to have on a team. Brings a lot of energy. Like you said, you can't always look at his statistics.
Now Real Muto, who's 1 for 3. And Grandal does a nice job of blocking the pitch in the dirt. Tell you one thing about Francoeur, if he was so inclined, and have no idea if he is or not, he would make a terrific manager. Knows the game, knows the subtleties of the game, the personalities who play the game.
He's got a good sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
Keep guys concentrating, but also light.
Real Muto on 1-1 takes outside. Looking ahead to the ninth, a pinch hitter, then the top of the order for the Dodgers. On the bench, they've got Culberson, Turner, Hernandez, Barnes, Seguin, Carlos Ruiz, Yasiel Puig, and Andrew Toles. Three balls and a strike to Real Muto. With Miguel Rojas on deck. Now 3-2.
Adrian Gonzalez will be behind the runner at first. The out will have to go to first base because the runner will be going.
Infield back. The outfield shading Real Muto a little toward right. And that got a piece of Grandal.
Look, got him right on the right kneecap, maybe.
Wow.
Oh, on the inside there's not a lot of equipment there blocking that one.
The side of the kneecap underneath the protective knee guard. That's a tough way to make a living.
Oh yeah, and after that you got to squat down. Your knee's on fire right now.
For those of you at home, just sit down and squat for about 40 seconds and stand up for half a second or two. Then get back and squat. Do that for about 3 hours. See how your knees feel. On 3-2.
You know, the thing that's made it easier over the years is those knee savers on the back of the shin pads. Now they can almost sit like they're on a chair for catchers. Taking a lot of pressure off their knees.
There goes Frank Corin. We'll do it again.
Takes some pressure.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take the foul ball pressure.
It doesn't take that, and it's still squatting quite a bit.
Have you put those on? I put those on.
Yeah. No, they
help
do.
a lot.
They definitely make a difference. There's no question about it. But
3-2 with 2 out. There goes Francoeur. Here comes the pitch, and it's sliced foul. Giants at Arizona coming up soon. Matt Moore and Zach Greinke. And the 3-2. Real Muto, who's 1 for 3 today, an infield hit, making life miserable on Jesse Chavez. Yankees have scored a run in the bottom of the 7th. Rays lead them 4-2. Call strike 3. Real Muto is done. Doesn't like the call from Bill Miller, and Bill Miller could care less. We'll go to the 9th. Marlins 3 and the Dodgers nothing. is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat on your favorite devices now. Andrew Tolles to lead it off, pinch hitting in the 9th. Well, he's never gone this far and has never thrown a shutout. But Arena has scattered 3 hits and hasn't walked anybody. I don't think he's thrown a pitch straight today.
He's thrown the ball very, very well. Late movement, getting ahead of most hitters. Mixing in his little slider when he can.
Francoeur. And there's 1 out in the 9th. That'll bring up Chase Utley. I don't know that we can say a star is born today, but a star is certainly shining. Jose Urena. Utley is 0 for 3. He was robbed of a base hit in his last at bat by D. Gordon. Dodgers have had 1 runner on base today. Left a total of 2. And he's never been in any real trouble.
He really hasn't. Just the 1 inning, the first and second couple base hits, Corey Seager, Adrian Gonzalez. But after that, really got out of that in a hurry.
Randall would bounce into a double play. That was it. But he's one of these guys who just has natural movement on every pitch. 1-2. Well, you compared him early to Ramon Martinez. That certainly stands up. Presumably drives better than Pascual Perez. .95 after 101 pitches. Certainly based on today, they've got something here. Utley won't go quietly. Reddick on deck, Seager to follow. On 1-2. That's fair, and Rojas has it. Dodgers now down to their final out. Rain is giving himself a birthday present a day early. He'll turn 25 tomorrow. Reddick takes a strike. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2 late to the dance.
Only a second batter over the minimum.
Dodgers down to their final strike. Now it's 2-2 to Josh Reddick. 0 for 3 today. Popped to short, fly to center, and bounced to short. A base hit to left field for Josh Reddick to keep the Dodgers alive.
Well, now coming into 3 over the minimum, and the next 2 guys do have hits off of him. Of the 4 hits today, Seager and Gonzalez coming up. Don Mattingly might be making a change.
And he is. There's not a whole lot of sentimentality in baseball when you're between the lines. As the Dodgers, Dave Roberts and Rich Hill found out last night. So much for the complete game aspirations of Arena, who turns 25 tomorrow, and he was brilliant today. Getting much deserved congratulations in the Marlin dugout. But the Marlins, every game is vital to them down the stretch in their fight for a wild card spot. They bring in their closer, A.J. Ramos.
Oh, they bring in their closer. I mean, for the Dodgers, you have to realize you're a hit and a home run away from tying this game up. And if you're the Marlins and you're Don Mattingly, you're thinking the same thing, so you bring in your closer.
And a strike, 0-1. Riddick takes second base on defensive indifference. Corey Seager 0 for 3 against Ramos. And Seager this afternoon has 1 hit in 3 at-bats. Dodgers down to their final out. Gonzalez would be the tying run if Seager gets on. But it's not going to happen. And the Marlins have shut out the Dodgers. Dodgers go without a run for the 9th time this season. 3-0. Arena is your story. He's also the Lexus player of the game. He was on top of his game, striking out 4. And as we mentioned, Oral, he threw nothing straight all day.
It was absolutely fantastic. Changed speeds really, really well and put the Dodgers to sleep in this early game.
So that's a wrap for us from Miami. For Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Alana Rizzo, I'm Charlie Stunner saying good night and goodbye. Now it's time to send it back to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers.